Wow, okay, my lighting needs some work. How's it going, everybody? Hope you're having a good week. Good weekend now. I'm doing pretty good. Getting excited to play some Skyrim. Back to the warrior. Let me address chat here. Your boy Nobody. I do not mind restreams at all, as long as it's clear that that it's me and not you that's doing the playing and the. As long as you're not passing off my work as your own, I'm fine with that. I actually don't mind the promotion at all. So yeah, feel free. Magus coming in hot. Yeah, I'm coming in hot too. It was like already 1:08 when I got up today. It's crazy. Coming in cold. How's it going? Guess the mage wasn't well liked. No, the mage was actually very well liked. I just have more to show on the warrior right now, so we'll probably be alternating every week, tentatively. I'm playing a both at the same time, so they're going to be kind of leapfrogging each other in terms of progression, and when something happens or I get to a place with one of the characters where it's more interesting to show that and talk about that, I'll just switch over to them. I do plan on throwing the thief in at some point too, so we'll have a little three-way rotation here. And I might be doing polls on the channel and stuff to see who the audience wants to see most. You know, the warrior, the thief, or the mage. The mage is off to a great start, I think. It's also a much more complicated class because of all the spells that you have at your disposal, especially with your modded spells and things like that. So there's a lot to explore. There's a lot for me to make sense of, and especially to fit it into like a tight level 50 character concept for like a build guide. The mage is going to take a little more work, I think, but I'm excited to do that work, and I'm excited to have you guys help me out. So no, the mage isn't going anywhere. We'll probably have the mage next week, if I don't have the thief to introduce at that point, which I don't think I will. For anyone interested, I'll be streaming my run during this stream on Twitch under the name... Okay. Well, we probably don't want to take people away from this stream to go watch yours, but if it's like Discover... I don't think people are going to want to watch the same stream on two different services either, but... yeah, I don't mind you restreaming to a different audience over on Twitch, for sure, but prefer not to cannibalize the audience here to go watch that stream instead, if that makes sense. Let's see what else. Okay, so yeah, this warrior, he is obviously adorned in all dwarven stuff, including a dwarven circlet, just because I didn't really like the look of the dwarven helmet, right? I also need to store this dwarven shield somewhere because I do have Spellbreaker now. So he's going to be taking on the aspects of the dwarves a little bit. He's going to be a little more measured, a little more logical about things, maybe a little bit more cold and emotionless about things too. So that's kind of some roleplay fuel that you can use for your warrior once he goes into his dwarven phase. Hello, goat. The goat likes the dwarven stuff, I guess, or the goat's actually just going to try to eat his cape. Yeah, watch out, Fortius. Those goats, they like to eat clothes. Yeah, so I've also went and gotten Dawnbreaker and Spellbreaker. That's going to be a nice boon. Dawnbreaker, especially against Undead. And I'll talk about the Paladin / Undead culling stuff here in a moment. Spellbreaker is going to be great against mages, vampires, and the like. And I'm running Zim's Immersive Artifacts, and with Zim's Immersive Artifacts, Spellbreaker is actually quite strong. The ward comes up almost immediately, and it doesn't break down as easily as the vanilla version, right? There we go. Okay, so what else? Yeah, we have a spear that I've been using. This one does just regular old burn damage. But this one is quicker, so it burns the target for 12 points and the targets on fire take extra damage. That just means it does some more damage over time while the enemy is on fire. But the pikes in this game with animated armory the animations and stuff are very fast for a two-handed weapon. So I should be able to stack up a few stacks of fire damage on that. That combined with weakness to fire, which is a new enchantment added by the new version of Summer Mist, will make that stacking fire damage even more effective if I get some bow shots in before the distance is closed. So we'll be doing some of that. The paladin phase that I was talking about here. So we kind of reached our limit with Kinnereth, right? And the sort of devotee boon that you get for worshiping Kinnereth up to level 100 was nice. I like the improved movement speed and stamina in combat was great. But that sort of devotee boon that you get was that mountable saber cat. And that just doesn't fit the theme with this character. That's more of like a druidy type thing. Maybe even a mage type thing, nature mage. Which I guess is what a druid is. So I switched over to RK, which was the other deity available at, or locally available at Whiterun. So yeah, just the Hall of the Dead. I did that little quest for the priest of RK there, so I just took on RK while I was there. And so RK has some buffs against the undead and also allows you to perform RK's rites on some of your vanquished foes. And I do want to see what RK's rites are. I meant to look that up before I started the stream, but then got distracted with some patching. Summer Mist actually had an update today. So if you haven't downloaded a newer version of Summer Mist in a while, and I actually upgraded from 3.0 to 4.0, and the logs on that is quite huge. So yeah, there was a 4.0 beta, and then once that went out to release, it was 4.01. But yeah, you can see that he reconfigured a lot of things for 4.0. So a lot of things, like he removed a bunch of stuff that just, it was either overpowered or not very highly used, and he replaced it with some stuff that was a little more balanced, but with more synergies with existing things. And especially he added things like spikes. So this is, if you play Diablo, this is thorn damage. It's kind of a reflect damage like the Ebony Warrior has. If you hit the Ebony Warrior, you're going to take some of that damage back. Now he's added enchantments that give you the same thing, which is great for a tanky character like a warrior. So it just adds bleed damage to melee attackers, which is great. And then also a lot of weakness to stuff. He's kind of really leaning into that for synergies with other enchantments. I'm not going to go over the full notes here, but he did just recently have a 4.05 that, and a couple of other updates here that I had not gotten yet. So I was spending my morning upgrading that and repatching some things, especially in the leveled lists and stuff, so that things are showing up where they belong. Yeah, so that's what I was doing this morning. All right, so let's see. We talked about the paladin phase. We talked about the dwarven stuff. We talked about equipments and enchantments. I think we're ready to go, right? Kitty Tail's paladin spell pack would be great for this class. Yeah, so I talked about Kitty Tail stuff a little bit in the last stream, and I think their stuff is great. It looks really good. There is a lot of screen coverage for the effects, right? So it does cover a lot of the screen, which isn't completely abnormal, especially for modded spell packs, ritual spells. Even in the vanilla game and stuff, kind of there's a lot of screen coverage. But the Kitty Tail stuff takes it a little further. The main issue I have with the Kitty Tail stuff is it doesn't add a whole lot of utility to stuff. It's kind of more like, if you remember the elemental destruction spells, Magus mentioned this on his stream. Was that yesterday? If you're going for like a earth warrior or a water mage, a hydromancer, I guess you'd call him. That's the mod pack you want to use. my thing with the kitty tail stuff is it's kind of like that, where it adds the same types of spells with maybe a different damage type and just like different names and different looks to things. It doesn't really change the way you play. It just it gives you different types of spells that kind of do the same thing. At some point, I might install some of them and look. I know Kitty Tails has a lot of fans, especially in my chat. A lot of people really love the Kitty Tails stuff, and I don't really have a problem with it. It's just that's the reason why I haven't installed that. Plus the fact that I already have way too many spells to like sort of feasibly be an expert in already. So I have Odin, which adds a lot of stuff, and also it kind of changes the base on a lot of those. Vanilla spells, rebalances things, improves them, makes them better in a lot of ways. And then I have Apocalypse on top of that. I got Forgotten Magic redone, and I have Arcanum. I don't remember what the subtitle of that one is, but yeah, those 3 or 4 mods, they add sort of an untenable amount of spells to keep track of, and a lot of them do offer that sort of utility, that gameplay changing effects that I was talking about that Kitty Tails sort of lacks from time to time. But yeah, I can see how. Okay, so the Kitty Tails stuff is very like specifically oriented toward like a certain type of mage, which is great. I don't mind that at all. Lost my camera angle, whatever. Yep, so Gore is wielding Volendrung. And we'll be wielding that after him. After the Dwarven stuff, we're going to be going to Orcish. We're going to be a little more bloodthirsty. We're going to be a little less calculating. So that'll be a fun phase to go through when we get there. I see you up there. This is usually where that skeleton is hiding. Yeah, he came up. He saw us early. So you might be wondering why with fire enchantment on this awesome spear and Dawnbreaker itself, why we're not just using that against these undead, and we will. It's just that my archery skill is kind of lagging behind the melee skills a little bit, so I'm trying to get that worked up. We're pretty much right there. So we'll be switching over soon, but yeah, like I said earlier, it also has a weakness to fire enchantment on it. If these guys do survive that, these are really weak enemies because they're open world enemies and they're been procced in when we're at a lower level, but having flashbacks? Dwarven? Let me catch up here. Looks like I can't have YouTube and Twitch streams open at the same time. Yeah, it kind of presents some technical difficulties. Restreaming is a thing, so like these big companies, like publishers and things like that, like Capcom allows restreams, and like Microsoft and Sony and stuff, if they're having a big showcase, they'll allow restreams on different platforms. It's a good way for them to increase the reach of their videos, because then it's like the smaller audiences of these individual streamers now are getting to see these advertised things, right? So that's good for the bigger stuff. For the smaller streamers, there are some technical difficulties that go along with it. I don't mind you restreaming or commenting on my play or anything like that, but yeah, just as long as you're not taking my audience to go watch your streams, I don't mind that. It would conceivably create more reach, especially on a platform that I'm not on, like Twitch. But yeah, restreaming is a technical hurdle that, you know, some people are able to stream to both Twitch and YouTube at the same time. I don't think I have the upload bandwidth to handle that. So having somebody else do the stream to Twitch would be ideal for me. But yeah. Sounds like that's not going to work out as we intended. Okay, what else is going on here? Way too much going. Oh, you're talking about the Kitty Tails visuals? EDM, but that's all they do, and they need a patch for Ordinator, but EDM works flawlessly too. Oh, yeah. EDM. Elemental Destruction Magic. Okay. Good. You like FMR better than Kitty Tails? It's all in an opinion stuff. Kitty Tails Dark Hierophant spells package takes the whole screen. Yeah, there you go. Well, not just that one. A lot of them do, for sure. Major tale of Kitty, or major fan of both Kitty Tail and Deity. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I'm not dunking on you for liking it, for sure. It's not that I don't like it either. I think they're great, well-made mods. It's just whatevs. DM'd me. Okay, let me pause. Ah, I see. Okay, there we go. Who the hell is this? Just a citizen. You are not a citizen. That's weird. Okay, so there's what mod adds this? No, not just the mist. Not the mist. Get right up in your business here, lady.
Huh?
Citizen. Ref changed by unknown. Great, huh? Interesting. This might be a missives thing. Although it's odd. This unknown thing here. That must mean it's being scripted in. But you're no citizen. Might be a Dawn Guard thing too, but I've never seen them here in this. I didn't know that they actually showed up in vampire dens like this. That's interesting. It's missives. Yeah, I thought so. No, I don't have the Travelers one. I do have another, like, it's not immersive patrols, but it's kind of like immersive patrols. It's something that the Novus Guide added in. I think it also adds like assassins, like high level assassins and stuff to the roads. I don't remember what it's called. It was one of those funny named ones, like an ESL named ones. I like it. I don't know if I prefer it over immersive patrols. It's a little more diverse than immersive patrols. It adds more things in, so it's more interesting than immersive patrols, I would say. From what I've seen, they're all over the world spaces landed randomly. They leave you alone, if I recall. Yeah, I see them dead. I saw one in Markarth just recently when I went to do the Spellbreaker quest line. I gotta turn that back off. Where? Oh, there it is. I knew it was on the backside of one of these walls somewhere, but I couldn't remember which one. Yeah, so sometimes they'll be found out, sometimes they'll be discovered, and then the citizens will start attacking them. And sometimes you'll get a missives bounty for it too.
Mercy!
No mercy for wickedness. Sorry, Magus. know that probably hurts vicariously to watch that, but you'll get over it. Skipping skill books for right now. Thief, Vampire, and the Fugitive. Yeah, that Fugitive is one that's really hard to catch. You get a missive for that, and it's like very cryptic. You have to like, it'll give you like an area to search for someone who's on the loose, and they'll show up as fugitive, but they'll be completely non-hostile. So you'll feel like you're killing the wrong person or something, and you're afraid to get like bounties and stuff. But yeah, that's what the missive is for. Oh, welcome the veteran too. Glad to have you back. Yep, it's missives. The citizens hide in vampire caves sometimes when not in inns. Yeah, I've been running missives for years, and I've done vampire dens and stuff, and this is the first time I've seen one just kind of hanging out in a den. That's actually really cool. I don't know if it's supposed to be that rare or not, but... Okay, we got the Death Lord here. Poke him in the ass. I'm really enjoying the spear gameplay with this. I've specifically crafted spears for each of the racial armor and weapon types each time because I think I don't know, I like the fast attack speed. You do less damage for sure, but it's a lighter weapon. The attack speed is faster. You get a more like narrow hitbox with it. So like if you're role playing and you're in like a dense set of caverns or tunnels or catacombs like this, it makes sense to have a weapon that's a stabby weapon instead of a swingy weapon, because you don't want your weapon to get stuck on the walls on either side of you, right? So that's cool. Never try to take your audience. Oh, I get you. No, I wasn't trying to accuse you of it. I'm just trying to say that I don't really have a problem with people using my content in a secondary way. I'm not like selfish about it or anything, but I don't want people stealing my content, right? So as long as you're putting credits up for me and linking to my YouTube channel and everything, and you know, not advertising your stream in my stream, then I'm fine. I'm not like accusing you of anything. We're just trying to hash out the details of how this stuff works, because it can be a complicated scenario, right? I get you. Okay, already been through here. Yeah, this place can be kind of a maze sometimes. Been through it enough, you can kind of find your way around. There are a couple more vampires further down into these ruins. We kind of took the top route up here. Skeletons and vampires, and there are a couple Draugr outside, and then of course the Death Lord that you gotta fight at the end there. Death Lords in your game are tough bastards. When I was in the I'm gonna ask you about that at some point, because I am running Shadow of Skyrim, and I rarely get the death scenario after a certain point in the game. So I do need to add in, even on legendary difficulty. I'm kind of stuck on legendary difficulty at this point. This is the only thing that provides any kind of challenge. So I'm looking to kind of trying to start making my game a little harder for future profiles. So I might ping you. Maldaroth has given me some good ideas on some things, and your game is definitely harder as well, to the point where like you don't even do legendary difficulty till later in your play. And with the thousands of hours that you have, it's not because you're not good at the game, right? I don't think anybody's accusing you of that. So yeah, I might ping you. It's gonna be a while. I need to get through the bulk of my Guardians playthroughs here, because I'm not making updates like that to existing saves for sure. but it'll be like a future profile type thing. But yeah, I want like deadlier bosses. Dragons, maybe I'll put like deadly dragons in there or something. I know that that has an MCM menu that I can tweak. Because right now, sort of there's like that sweet spot at level 30 or 40 where it's like I'm with grounded enemies, I'll probably be fine and things will be easy for the most part. But then dragons present this unique problem because they can both fly and they have that super powerful elemental attack. They already present a challenge for me at those levels. After a certain point, like you get Dragon Rend and you get something like Spellbreaker that has a ward on it, or you just have a strong enough ward that you have defensive options that you didn't have before. It's fine. That's usually about 40 or 50, but in the 30 to 40 range, those dragons are a problem. But with something like Deadly Dragons, yeah, it does have that MCM menu that you can tweak to make things easier or harder as you go. Trying to do it on the phone so you can't watch your stream while... Yeah, there you go. The phone's not going to work for you. Oh, looks like we got some ads. Look at that. YouTube wanting its cut. I love the Peacekeepers mod. Adds a whole sect known as the Peacekeepers that adds NPCs that travel all over Skyrim dealing with all evil. Recommend it, but it's an old mod. Interesting. I've never even heard of that, but it does sound like an immersive patrols type thing with a new faction. Sounds kind of cool. Death Lords in my game are tough. I'd never take your audience. Let's see. Skyrim revamped and rebalanced Draugr upgrades and improvements, Cannibal Draugr, and encounter zones. I use several mods here for this. Nice. Yeah, and I'm probably not going to lift and shift your exact mod stuff, but I'll probably pick and choose what works for me. I'm more of a fan of making small changes incrementally, trying to get to a certain point without breaking the whole thing down. But you should. Yeah, okay. Everybody should do everything exactly how Magus does it because he's right all the time. I'm kidding. I'm being sarcastic. Let's see. Revamped. Counter zones. For another example, Dragon Priests after a certain level would be 100. Yeah, that's kind of what I need. I want epic boss fights for endgame content. I'm using Halgbui, a Draugr overhaul. Creates new types of Draugr with ancient stallroom attire and weaponry, makes them a little tougher. Yeah, that's the thing. So, let's see. I think it's one of Nord War's overhauls. Is like for the Silver Hand or something. It gives Silver Hand new gear, but also in the process, I think it unlevels them, so they're super tough at lower levels. So things as seemingly trivial or minor as like just a gear change can make a huge impact, especially at the early part of the game. You need Deadly Dragons. Yeah, I've had a lot of experience with Deadly Dragons. It's just I haven't felt the need at this point to make dragons harder. They could use some more life for sure, and I think I can tweak that in Deadly Dragons without having to do all the stuff like knockdowns when they land and the multi-dragon raids and things like that. They're small changes, but they make a huge impact. Since we both play on Legendary, you aren't wrong though. Remember my fight with Sulfrid and Alduin? Yeah, that was epic. Yep. When have you seen Alduin actually be a tough boss? Yeah, that's unfortunately something that, well, actually, Starfield, I think, did a good job with that last endgame run. It was pretty challenging, especially at higher New Game Plus levels. There were a lot of Starborn all over the place. Yeah, Yeah, that's something that Bethesda made a huge improvement on. Usually their balance is all out of whack. You know, somewhere around level 40 or 50, you tend to get overpowered, and all the endgame bosses become almost trivial. Except for the multi-phase stuff, like Harkon is one of them. Karstag, kind of to a lesser extent. He's just kind of brute forced with the HP and things like that, but oh yeah, I think the boss fights, especially on higher New Game Plus levels, were quite epic in Starfield. Terramorphs could have been a lot harder, but that endgame sequence was pretty good. Now I got all turned around. I got completely all turned around here. I have no idea. Yeah, all right. I mean, I guess I could sell that. That was supposed to be on the other side of that wall, but that's okay. Gonna pacify Karstag for everybody? Nice. Alduin and Starfield? That would be pretty awesome. Yeah, it would. It would also... there are some mods out there now that add like huge boss creatures, like enormous boss creatures to the game. And because everything's like still really new over there, they're pretty janky. But still pretty cool to see just huge, epic, monstrous bosses in that game. More of that, please. Let's see. I feel like I'm missing something. There's another... Oh, it's probably in here. Yeah, it's in there. I've only been through this like 100 times, so... You would think I would have it all in order by now. Here we go. Not mistaken, there's another vampire in here somewhere. A couple Draugr and a vampire. Oh, I have to cross over to the other side. The one that opens up to Lake Ilinalta. I want to add the mod that changes and overhauls Karstag to Charstag. Ooh, like fire themed. That would be interesting. Huh? Maybe not thematically correct, but still very interesting. Especially if you're looking for a new like endgame boss. No, okay. That vampire was... It sounds like she's coming from up there. But I don't think my headphones do vertical 360 sound, so it must be coming from over here. Yeah, Dawnbreaker is wicked, man. Very strong.
Mine's playing tricks on me. Hello? Who's there?
Nobody. Oh, this is hilarious. So because the owner of this zombie
I'm going to enjoy this.
can't see me, doesn't know to attack me, that the minion doesn't attack me either, is non-hostile. That's hilarious.
Bad time to
Arcade's rights. Oh yeah, I was gonna look up what the hell Arcade's rights were, and I totally forgot. So if you're RK, if you're worshiping RK, you get access. This doesn't happen all the time. This is only once in a while. I think it might be random and fairly, low chances to get this to proc. But it'll give you the option when you go to activate the dead body to perform RK's rites on it, and you get a little bit of favor for it, and you probably get a buff for it. But I was having trouble finding it in the active. Oh, maybe it's... No, that's the blessing of RK. Maybe this is it. Just get a buff to your health. It says you can perform RK's rites, but it doesn't say what Arcane's rites do. Oh, no, I'm wielding the Goblet of Infinite Grace. That's why I got RK's blessing, because I prayed. Well, this is just the tenets. How to increase your favor. Yeah, what the hell? Okay. Let's go check and see what Arcane's Rites does. Winter Sun. Revive with full health upon taking fatal damage. Must pray to use this ability again. Cost 15. Okay, that's useful. So you get a saving roll, basically, which is great for Shadow of Skyrim. Generate up to 5% of your maximum health. This doesn't even say what Arcane's rights are. Okay, there's more later on. Okay. Arcane's rights. Do you know Dawnbreaker unleashes a Bane of the Undead and it grows stronger the higher restoration level is? Okay. Yeah, so usually if you the higher your restoration level and the perks that you take can strengthen restoration effects. So that I did know. This is not the vanilla Dawnbreaker, though. This is Zim's Dawnbreaker, so it doesn't have that fear effect where it has that timed explosion. This one does have an immediate explosion on the first hit of an undead, though. So it's a little more immediately impactful as opposed to, hit it and then wait for the time bomb to go off. This one is a little different. But yeah, that's something that a lot of people don't know. There are perks in destruction and restoration that strengthen spells, and if it says and effects on it, it will also strengthen enchantments. So that's a good way to increase the strength of your enchantments on your weapons and armor, including Daedric effects. You just have to kind of figure out what effect type, what kind of school, what skill scales that effect, and yeah, you can always do that. The other thing you can do is potions. Potions are actually a lot stronger than the perks in most cases. So a fortified destruction potion will vastly increase the potency of your destructive effects, and same with fortify restoration, and even fortify illusion will strengthen fear and fury spells or effects on your weapons as well. Good stuff. Arcane's rights issues. Supposed to trigger exactly every 6 enemies killed. Okay. Only humanoids. I've had Arcane's rights trigger once or twice for me total. No, I've had it I'm not having an issue there. I just want to know what the hell Arcade's rights are. I gotta be missing something. Anai is usually really good at documentation. Maybe it's just a way to increase favor. Maybe that's all it is. Regenerating health based on missing health is already a strong effect. Yeah, maybe it's just there to act as a tenet to increase your favor. Yeah, we'll go with that for now. I'll research it later if anybody else knows. Yeah, with Zim's immersive artifacts, I'm not sure. I think I do have fortified. Do I have a fortified destruction potion? I usually do. Yeah, I do. Dawnbreaker should have a permanent sunburn effect that slowly burns and kills and all undead. Yeah, that is in vanilla. Zim's immersive artifacts does overhaul these a little bit. So this one just burns the target for 40 points. That's the base enchant that it does. And then it inflicts additional fire damage and causes that explosion when first striking undead foes. So I think I'm gonna do a quick save here. Would be cool enchantment on Dawnbreaker. Yeah, should have. Oh no, this is what you're suggesting. Effect that slowly burns and kills any and all undead over time. Actually, Zim's did have something very similar to that in his very first edition of this mod. He had it so that if you had Dawnbreaker equipped, not even if you hit undead with it, if you had it equipped, it would act almost like a flame cloak, but just for undead. So if you get close to an undead warrior with or an undead enemy with Dawnbreaker equipped, then they would just start taking damage over time, fire damage over time. It was a little broken, so he removed it and exchanged it for something else that it was a little more, a little less script heavy and a little less error prone. But still very powerful. But yeah, that was pretty cool. It just, you know, if you were around undead and you had Dawnbreaker, they were taking damage, regardless of if you hit them or not. Arcade's Rights is basically a cremation effect that augments your health and favor over time. Okay, so it does augment your health as well. I didn't see that. I didn't see that in the active effects. But it makes sense. You do get augmented health regeneration with favor increases, so maybe it does that indirectly. Okay, I think we're about done. Did we clear this place? Yes, we did. Okay. Any recommendations for another undead dungeon to go through? Gavin Gaines, welcome, welcome. You're all talking about Char Stag, but what about Chad Stag? Just Giga Chad Car Stag? I'm down for it. Just has a massive jaw and big old bulging muscles, slicked back hair. Okay. Oh, yeah, those hunters always spook me. Let's see. There is a carriage stop around here somewhere. Have fun with that, buddy. Oh, we got some flames over here. The Vigilant taking people on.
No.
Oh well.
And an Alchemist.
Must have run off.
Just bandits, huh? Okay. How are we doing on leveling? It's going slowly. Yeah, at this point, leveling is going to go slowly. I've been spending a lot of money. I don't have a ton of septums on me right now because I've been spending a lot of money on training. problem is training gets way more expensive and tends to slow down a little bit once you get to skill level 50. That's fine. I'm alright with that. Temporary health augmentation. Okay. So you do get health augmentation just from the shrine blessing, which is what this is. This does not come from the Arcae's rites. This comes from the shrine blessing that I get when I pray to Arcae. So it cures disease, and the reason why I get the shrine blessing when I pray to my deity is because I am wearing this very, very rare item called Goblet of Infinite Grace. I think this is the first time I've actually found this in my hundreds and hundreds of hours of play with Winter Sun. Praying to a divine also grants you their blessing. So if it does more health augmentation, then I missed it. And I didn't see anything in... Maybe it just doesn't show up in temporary effects. I don't know. Arcade rates are just a way to gain... Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. And stops necromancers from resurrecting bodies. Yeah, that makes sense because it vaporizes the body. Okay. Where are we going, guys? What are we doing here? Let's see. I know that there's a dragon priest over here. We have Mikrul Galder over here. I think we have Hevnarak over here. We have Otar, I think. Otar the Mad over here. We could do the Mage's quest line. There's a lot of undead, at least in that first part, but then we have to follow Tolfdir's lessons and everything. That's a pain in the butt. Oh, we could go do the White File. That might be useful for us. Yeah, let's go to Windhelm and we'll go do that quest. That could be a useful item. So Steam has its summer sale going on right now. Has anybody bought anything? I got an old shoot 'em up game called Eschatos. Very highly rated amongst the arcade nerds of the internet. And it was on sale for like $7 or something like that, so I just bought it. What else did I get? Oh, there was another one called like Chrome Warriors, which is another retro kind of 2D platformer like Contra. That was like another $7, so I just bought that one. There was another one I got for $13.
I wonder what
Berserk Boy or something, just some retro stuff. But Mortal Kombat 1 and Tekken 8 are both on sale. They're around $33, $34 a piece, I think, which is a good sale for those newer fighting games, and I do love fighting games. I've been kind of itching for one lately. So I might pick up one of those. You got Civ 6 and Shadow of War. I think I already had Shadow of War. That one goes on sale pretty often. The Lord of the Rings one. I think that's one of them with the Nemesis system. Nova Drift. I haven't seen that one.
We haven't taken a side because
Nova Drift. It sounds like it has the vibe of something that I would like, so I'd like to go check that out. Oh yeah, I was looking at Helldivers 2. A lot of people really like this game. It's not expensive. It's only a $40 game. It's live service though. But I'm coming around on the live service stuff with Diablo 4. I've been really addicted to Diablo 4 lately. Overdrift. Ooh, that's really cheap. Action roguelike? You know I love an action. Oh, this is like a shoot 'em up too. Action roguelike shoot 'em up, huh? Bullet hell 2D. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. What else do I have in my cart right now? Oh yeah, Blazing Chrome. Yeah, Tekken 8. Horizon Forbidden West I played on my PS5. It was just more Horizon, but if you're already kind of getting fatigued on the whole open world thing, it doesn't really offer... It's better than Horizon Zero Dawn, but it's just... It's more of that same open world sameness. Did you see my first or second comment about a build called the Moonlit Artificer that uses heavily enchanted dual greatswords with heavy armor type build? How do you do a dual greatsword? Is that like one of those what was that combat overhaul that allowed you to one-hand two-handed weapons and two-hand one-handed weapons?
Take a look.
Crap, I can't remember. It like unlocked jump attacks too. It was all the rage for a while, and then it lost favor to the more Sekiro type combat mods. CGO, yeah, there you go. That's the one I was thinking. Combat gameplay overhaul. It's still buggy. Let's see. Did I see? I don't think I did see that. No, I didn't, and I can't scroll back up at this point without really shuffling things around on my desktop here. Sorry, Quilana. Yeah, if you want to repost, go ahead. I'll take a look at it. What am I doing here? What are you arguing about?
Just a man's life work is all.
Oh, is that all?
I finally derived the location of the white file, but this doting busybody won't let me get it.
If you tell me where it is, I can get it for you.
You would do that?
I would.
It's good to know there are some people out there who are willing to help an old man. It's buried
An old mer.
with its maker, Corral Mill, in a long-forsaken cave to the west of here. Corral Mill was a crafty one, even in death. You would need the skills of a master alchemist to reach its resting place. Luckily for you,
Your butt would need the skills
I've
of a
already made the mixture. Here,
master alchemist.
take it. Please, don't dally.
Man, I'm tired today. I don't know what's going on. I'm
My
just,
useless assistant here.
you know that when I start
Why are
spouting
you still
your,
standing around here?
your butt is ... And I'm tired. Had a really busy week at work this week. Yeah, me and all my coworkers are pretty much just wiped out at this point. So my wife and I ordered some comfort food. We got a bunch of pizza, some chocolate chip cookies from Costco, and gorged ourselves for Friday night pizza night. And so I got food coma hangover today. I don't drink, so I don't get like actual hangovers, but I can definitely tell when I eat bad food and stuff that I'm feeling it after. Zim's immersive training? Oh, is that with like training dummies and stuff? I'll have to look into that. Although, to be honest, I'm pretty happy with the vanilla training system. It works fine for me. It's just a way to augment your progression. Gives you another way to spend the massive amounts of gold that you inevitably accumulate throughout a playthrough. Gives you something to spend that on. Yeah. And I'm kind of on the fence about, you know, whether or not I would like to be able to train up to level 100 and beyond if you're using an uncapper. I don't think it needs it. I think it's fine. It gives you another challenge at 90. Either, you know, strategically saving your... Oh, crap. That's an ice wolf. Not a nice wolf. An ice wolf. Whether you're saving your skill books or whatever, it just adds kind of a wrinkle to the strategy of leveling. Alright, Gore, I'm gonna have to load you up here. Hey, come back here. Stop walking. Here he comes. I don't want to turn sandboxing off because I like that they're able to sandbox, but... Yeah, no. Summarize the comment. As an Altmer, he's supposed to live for up to thousands of years. Yet he's dying of what's considered childhood years in Altmerian tongue. Oh, and he doesn't know what's causing it yet? Wait. Yeah, I accidentally picked up some worthless iron crap. Just trying to pick up other stuff. I feel like that should about do it.
Alright then.
Yeah, right. That'd be cool to kind of like roleplay something like the arcane fever that Enderall has or something like that. Or at least your own interpretation of it. Dremulok. Greetings back at you, Haster. Hope you are having a good weekend so far. I love Tolfdir mostly because I love alteration magic and he just gets more characterization than pretty much every other College of Winterhold character. Yeah. Yeah, everybody, you know, you have, what's her name? Is it Neria? She's very, like, neurotic. Kind of, paranoid. So she's got some character to her. Jizargo actually has a good amount of character to him as well. One of the better vanilla followers in the game, I'd argue. Tolfdir definitely has some personality. But yeah, Mirabelle, even Savos, Finis, Drevis even really, beyond like the whole invisibility snafu. Yeah, nobody else really has a whole lot of... Arniel is kind of neurotic as well, but he's just annoying and whiny. Savos is kind of... Yeah, they could have done better by who's supposedly supposed to be like the most powerful mage in Skyrim, right? Woke up an hour ago and it's now 10 p.m. Oh man. Sounds like your schedule's kind of jacked up for a little bit. Yeah, usually at that point to fix myself, I have to pull an all-nighter. Just avoid sleeping during the day as much as possible and then hope that you can sleep the next night. Should make the roads safer. Ooh, quick swipe. Got through the armor there. But that's okay. We're actually very tanky on legendary difficulty. We're holding up really well. I know one of the criticisms that Magus had about my attribute distribution early game, that I was putting way too much into stamina. I still stand by that, by the way. That's been addressed. I have found that I have enough stamina now, so I've been putting it into health at a 3 to 2 clip for every 5 levels to make myself more tanky, and that's been helping. That's how it's gonna be. You're just gonna be nocturnal for a while, or are you're gonna pull an all-nighter? Or are you just living on United States time because that's where all your that's where your streaming buddies are? Gotta get that vitamin D though. Gotta get out and touch grass every once in a while. Let's see. Got another snow bear over there. That fox is not going to last long. Try to nip this in the bud. Oh, and we got a saber cat over there too. Ooh, another one. Sneaky, sneaky. Oh, Gore got him. Gore has it taken care of. Crafting materials are all needed. Not gonna subject you guys to my crafting sessions though. Any other dead stuff laying around? I was gonna say, I think there was one more fox that might have gotten away, but oh no, there's a goat. Maybe the fox did get away. Or maybe it's that one that I already field dressed. Silent Echo, welcome, welcome, buddy. Guess I'll stay up for the night, gotcha. Be cool if there was a mod out that makes Neloth replace saves Savos as Archmage if you chose not to become Archmage. Yeah, Neloth actually has a ton of character that Savos does not. I wouldn't have minded someone like Neloth as Archmage. That would be actually a very complicated mod to implement though, I think. Because Savos is such a huge presence on a lot of different quest lines within the college over there, that just dragging and dropping a new NPC in there with like voice lines and stuff would be pretty rough. Hey, there's Tom Mull as well. Getting the party going, huh? Just passed 200 hours in Elden Ring on my PS4 and just got a PS5. I hope everything transfers. Yeah, you should be fine. Do not want to put another 200 hours in the game again. Yeah, I mean, I rolled credits at 200 hours on that game. Are you playing the expansion, Shadow of the Erdtree? I mean, I'm still kind of burnt out on Elden Ring from just the sheer torture it put me through. I mean, I loved the game. It was my game of the year a couple years ago. Fantastic game, but it does take a toll on you. Like 200 hours just to roll credits, and that's not just because there's just a ton of content there, but those games do require you to replay those bosses over and over again to learn their attack patterns and their vulnerabilities and things like that. If you're following guides and stuff like that, yeah, you can... Gore, you're invisible again. Cut it out, man. Yeah, you can get that far under 200 hours, but the whole point of that game is exploring and suffering through boss fights to feel like a juggernaut of gaming when you actually do beat one of the bosses. Just got to Lanedale Capital at 200 hours. Oh, geez. It's like a rhythm game, like Guitar Hero. Yeah, kinda. Each boss is like a song, a new song to learn and master. And they do give you tools to make it easier, like a lot easier, but that does require you to put in those hours in exploration to get those items and the different, like the mimic tiers and things like that. All the different runes that make things easier. They give you the tools so that it's not just insurmountable, but they don't tell you what those tools are or how to use them. And so, yeah, it does take its toll. And when I think about playing another Souls-like, especially Elden Ring, I kind of still feel that fatigue.
Everything's better bloody.
He'll come back at some point. I'm not worried about it.
right then.
Unwinding for now? Nice. Okay. All right. Yeah, these are tight quarters. So I'm going to keep Spellbreaker and Dawnbreaker active. And we're getting a little higher level on our Draugr now. So having the extra defense is nice. Get some one-handed leveling in there. Very good, very good. Regular Draugr. Go boom. There's another one over here too, I think. Yeah, and we are still on Legendary difficulty. Yeah, I need to put some difficulty mods in here. Start piecing something together that's a little more challenging. Especially because, yeah, we're level 36 now. We're not even level 40. Basically anything except for dragons we're destroying. Oh, I did not mean to do that, damn it. Whatever. Doubt that one skill point, or 2 max if you have the right black book power. Just once you get to 90, you can't train anymore, so I'll just go fight a giant or something, and that's a good way to level block. The more damage you block with your shield, or just with block in general, the faster you're gonna level up. So yeah, you can stand in front of somebody and just mash block bash, which does work. It gives you something a little more active to do. But you will level block a lot faster by blocking extremely powerful attacks like the Giant's Club and things like that. It just can be very dangerous at lower levels, but at higher levels, when your progression is slowed down to a crawl and you have enough defense to withstand a giant attack, that's the way to go. Block bash the train. Yeah, I don't have the training dummies. Blocking giants though is something that'll work with vanilla too if you don't like mods or you're running on console. Why not? Because I think it, in terms of balance, the training dummies, they give you too easy access to progression.
Tired of hearing it.
The way that I want my game balanced right now is like I should either have to fight to earn level progression or spend ungodly amounts of money to earn it.
Big to think too far
with training.
ahead.
That's the way that I like it. With a training dummy, you still have to put in the time, but I don't know. Just mindlessly bashing an inanimate object. I mean, immersive, yes. That's how it works in real life. If you want to work on your boxing skills, punching a bag will absolutely help if you're doing the right drills and you're supplementing it with sparring and other things. Yes, it can absolutely help, but it shouldn't be the end-all be-all of this is the path of least resistance for gaining a skill progression. So I have left it out. I have my reasons. Where's the fun in hitting a dummy? Yeah. Actually, hitting a punching bag is a lot of fun, though. I will say that. Watching your toon on the screen hitting a dummy probably isn't as much. People who are immersion focused, definitely it's a good mod to have, for sure. It's just, I'm a little more gameplay oriented, I think. than a lot of people. I still like that old school gameplay challenge.
Just remember, everything. All right then.
Oh, you're still running. Your boy Nobody's still on the treadmill. He's been on that treadmill for a week. He's burned 2 million calories. And he now weighs 1.2 pounds. And is desperate for a cheeseburger. Just means you don't have to use them. Yeah, and I have stuff like that in my load order for sure. Like honed metal messes with the balance of things in my opinion too, but I choose not to use it, or I just turn off certain things about it. I basically just use it for a transmog system. If I don't want to, you just use the add item menu mod to console something into my inventory, but I want a certain item for a certain look, for a certain character concept, but that character concept doesn't use like the crafting skills or whatever. I'll use honed metal to get the item that I want, but I won't use it to like improve or enchant items above my level. And the way I have my game tuned, like gold is more important for like progression and for things like honed metal for getting the items that you want. I lost my train of thought there. Where was I going with that? I don't know. I need more food, more caffeine. It'll pop into my head like 30 minutes from now and I'm like, oh yeah, remember what I was talking about and forgot what I was gonna say? Oh yeah, so I do have like mods like more gold for bounties, or bounty gold SE, or whatever the one is that provides an MCM menu. You got them? You got them. Provides the MCM menu for gold values on certain bounties and things like that to vastly increase the gold amount that you get for each of your bounties, because gold is more important in my game for things like progression and crafting for honed metal and things like that. So I do have stuff that affects balance, but I try to stay as true as possible to vanilla balance where it makes sense. I try to keep the systems from vanilla that I like the experience and leveling systems, crafting systems. Those are all fine. So I try not to touch those, but then work around it in ways that enable it in ways that make sense, limit it in ways where it doesn't. It's all a constant work in progress. And who knows, Magus, maybe one day I'll end up with your exact... I'll land on the same thing that you landed on after your thousands of hours of research and playing, but... Well, tens of thousands. I do have thousands, so I qualify for that. But if mine's a work in progress, I might end up landing on yours someday too. It's just... I need to do it my way, and... that means one piece at a time. Well, that would have been gnarly. Let's see. No, but you combine it with skill training with said trainer too. Okay. Sure, and yeah, it is a quality, it can be considered a quality of life thing, right? So if you're like just a few points away from that next level, and that next level opens up a perk that you really need or really want for your character concept or your build or whatever, it's nice to just be able to go to a training dummy and splash it with flames a couple times or whack it with a sword a couple times, and now you got your your level, as opposed to like going out and doing a bounty just to like block one attack so that you can get your level up or your unlock your perk that you wanted to spend a perk point in. I get that. That's mostly what I ended up using those training dummies for, just because it was so boring just standing there whacking the training dummy all day to level up. It does enable roleplay too. Immersive roleplay, yeah, if you're joining the companions as a lowly whelp, you probably want to train in the courtyard for a few solid days, if not weeks, months, before you head out on an actual live combat job, right? So in terms of immersive roleplay, yeah, the training dummies thing is great. And I'm still trying to find my happy spot. Like I said, it's all a work in progress, so I'm still trying to find my happy spot between balanced gameplay and immersive roleplay. I'm getting there. I think I'm pretty good at it right now, but I tend to, at least lately, lean toward the gameplay part of it more so than the roleplay part of it. Alright, time for Cure All Mill. Ooh, he's a tough one. You take care of him, Gore. I'm gonna take care of his cronies. Oh my god, they're all going after Gore here. There he goes. He's down for the count now. Nice. Overwhelmed. Vanilla Skyrim says companions send you out immediately. Yeah, I know. This is nuts. You want to prove yourself? Go fight this entire band of bandits all on your own. Ooh, we got a Tempest Dominus. Nice. We will be taking on some Daedric worship at some point, probably later on in this playthrough. This will be invaluable for that. Favor with Daedric princes diminishes 20% slower. So the biggest difference, the biggest main base difference between like the good guy gods and the bad guy gods, or the gods of the light versus the gods of the dark, the divines versus the Daedra, is that your favor with the divines goes down really, really slowly, which allows you to kind of stair step your favor increases up to devotee. With the Daedric princes, you really have to concentrate on doing their bidding. Otherwise, you're gonna lose favor with them so quickly that they're gonna abandon you. So their favor decreases very, very quickly. Which means you have to constantly be doing their bidding to keep your favor going up instead of going down and then completely gone. This is why the Tempest Dominus and the Black Raven attacks it from a different angle, but the same problem. It's a different solution to the same problem, basically, the Ebony Raven is. So you lose your favor a lot slower, which gives you more time to actually do the bidding to accomplish the tenets of the Daedric Prince to gain their favor. So yeah, we'll be holding on to that. I do want to do Boethia at some point to take on that Ebony Male, which is pretty cool with the Zim's Immersive Artifacts. I don't know if it's really on theme or not, but it is very powerful, especially against dragons. So before we start taking on dragons for real, we might take on the aspect of Boethia. I don't know, we'll see. Ooh, Ebony Warhammer. Feel like Gore will really like that. Once we move on to Orcish, which will be the next stream, Gore will move on to Ebony. So he'll be using that Ebony Warhammer. That's just one more thing I don't have to craft for him. Actually, I'll take that Nordic Staff. Does Cure-All-Mill have his badass sword? No. That's probably one of the mods that you have that I don't. Cure-All-Mill is just a high-level Draugr in my game. Oh, the crow sword or something like that? Maybe he did and I just didn't catch it. Maybe I'm not high enough level. Bank those perks? Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what you end up doing anyway. Catch up here. This one was just thinking the same. A long run, 8 days. The Artificer Artifacts over Replacer part, I don't like is the Basilite masks. Don't get their respective damage augmentation, but instead... Are you talking about the Dragon Priest masks? Instead allows them to be casted more by reducing the... Yeah, I don't like the cost reduction thing. I mean, it's important up to a certain part, up to a certain point, but really damage augmentation is more at a premium in this game. So it creates more value for that item. If you're replacing that with cost reduction, it's not as good. I agree. I think you'd like how mine is set up. Legendary is definitely a challenge. Yeah, no, and I do want to take parts of yours because there are things about your setup that I don't think I would like on a personal level with my own gameplay, the way I like to have things tuned. But there are things that I would definitely like. So I don't want to copy everything over verbatim, and I know there are probably like patches and things that need each other to work, and I can work through that. I don't mind patching things on my own either. But yeah, we'll talk at some point. Like I said, I'm probably still a few weeks away from that. I still need to focus on finishing up my Steger build guide. I am 23 minutes into that right now, and I'm kind of slogging through the spells section, which requires a lot of explanation of how I'm using those spells, and also what's actually taking the time is getting the video footage for an example of how I'm describing how to use those spells. And that coupled with just an enormously busy work week, every week I say I'm about a week away from posting that thing, but it's true. I am making progress on it. It's getting ever closer. I just, you know, real life, sometimes there's only a certain amount of hours in the day, and that's all you get. Sometimes that's not enough. So yeah, I have other projects I'm working on now, but I will make notes of it. And like I said, I did ping Malderoth months and months ago about some things that I wanted to add in. I think for the most part, I like where things are at with how my game plays, and how it's and how a lot of the gameplay mechanics work. Aesthetically, I'm happy. I got physics in, so now it's like, other than the difficulty stuff, it's just adding in a bunch of weapon and armor mods, and that's fairly trivial. But I think for the next profile versions that I do want to try to tackle harder difficulties, and that is going to take some tweaking for me. Gonna stop reading. Yeah, you need to clean your house at some point, right? Oh, it's named after him? Yeah, that must be a mod that I don't have, or a leveled list that I borked. But no, that wouldn't be a leveled list. That would just be that would be an outfit attached to the character, and I don't think I have anything touching him, so. I had some mod that bugged out and put the entirety of Skyrim underwater, so naturally I installed a bunch of water combat mods. Nice, you know, when life gives you lemons. Make lemonade. Hey, Mr. B's here. Welcome, welcome, Mr. B. That's why I favor the fallen star Merid Nhunda. Aptly named Meridia when she fell from grace. She's one of the 9 states. Children of Magnus? Will never be posted in all. It'll happen. It's happening. I can prove to you right now that I'm very close to done. But I don't want to give it away. Go murder a clown. I don't want to go do anything close to a clown. You guys are scary. I don't want to approach a clown in any way, shape, or form. Did I go the right way? No, I didn't. I don't want to go all the way back through this dungeon. There is an easy release valve right over here. Freshly baked lies. Lies! That is actually an idea that I toyed with, is like previewing partial build guide progress during my live streams. I realized today that I was looking at my content tab in the YouTube studio that it gives you, the management studio, and I don't have a single Skyrim build this year, and it's basically July. That's crazy and kind of sad. I really need to buckle down and get that thing out. The last thing I posted was a 1 credit clear of Death Smiles, that arcade game. And so I'm surprised I'm not like losing subscriptions hand over foot, because it's been so long since I've posted an actual like Skyrim video. And the last thing I posted was an arcade sort of like long play with commentary. That should be a death sentence for any channel, but it's still growing. I'm still getting, you know, about a subscription a day, which has been, it goes up when I'm posting more regularly and, you know, putting shorts out there and treating this YouTube channel more like a job, which is, you know, it's fine when I'm not busy with my actual job, but when I am busy with my actual job, I can't do 2 jobs at once, right?
Got a pretty full stock of potions.
So yeah, I kind of worry sometimes that the audience gets the wrong idea that I've like abandoned Skyrim or whatever. But if they're not paying attention to the live streams and stuff like this, then I can imagine how that would not go over well, and I would start losing subs.
This it matches every description of the file that I've found in lore. But if it can't hold liquid, there's no way of knowing. How did you manage to damage it then? This is what I get for not retrieving it myself.
That's how it was. Whatever happened, Cure Mill or Father Time is to blame. Akatosh, I guess.
Figures. I doubt you have sufficient knowledge to harm the file, even if you wanted to.
That's correct, but hey.
This is the end of it. Now, if you'll excuse me. I'm not quite in the mood to entertain guests. I trust you can show yourself out. Here's for your trouble.
Yeah, so I was talking about Elden Ring and Shadow of the Erd Tree, and talking about how, whoa.
I know my master can be a bit short at times.
I'm gonna stare right into your mouth. Yeah, I'm happy to help.
Here, you should have this. Even though the file was damaged, I still think your efforts
for Fortius at this point, it's really not about the money. It's about the training. It's not even about the glory, really, right? He's trying to honor his father's legacy. Oh, I'm jumping around a lot. So I was talking about Elden Ring and how I was burnt out on the open world concept a little bit, but I'm starting to come around on Shadow of the Erd Tree a little bit, just hearing a lot of the reviews about it and the things that like were added to the game, and beyond just the expanded lands and stuff itself, like the unarmed weapons and stuff, playing like the monk type seems like a lot of fun. A whole bunch of new weapon types were added. I don't know, it's giving me the itch to play again. I might just throw Shadow of the Erdtree, the expansion, on my wish list, and then when it goes on sale, maybe that'll motivate me the rest of the way to pick that game up again. Okay, what's next here? Oh, we can go do Ingol's Barrow. That would require a trip to Winterhold. So let's take a carriage to Winterhold up here. Unlock the fast travel on that too. And then we can talk to, what's her name, Brenna, at the general shop over here. And then we'll unlock Ingol's Barrow and we can come back over here. That's another undead dungeon that we can do. And there's some more stuff up around the north coast up here too, but yeah, there are no shortage of Draugr fodder to take care of in Skyrim for sure. But I think first I am going to take a quick break. I'm gonna get some more caffeine and refill my water here. So sit tight. I'll be right back. I promise. All right, I'm back. Told you I'd be back soon. And it was soon. How's it going, Wind? Hope you're doing okay. Yeah, I just stepped out to get some more caffeine and some more water here. I'm dragging a little bit today. I said earlier I ate some really bad food last night. Just a bunch of comfort food after a busy, stressful week. And I'm definitely feeling it today for sure. But yeah, I went out there and my wife and my little dog are napping on the couch and they just look so happy and content just to snug and snooze, and warmed my damn heart. Cold, dead heart. Just little things like that every once in a while just remind you that, you know, beyond all the stress and the seemingly unbearable burden of being a responsible adult in this day and age, it's good to just look past that every once in a while and see the good things, take stock of the good things in your life and realize just how good you have it.
Hold it there. Keep your distance.
Feeling all emotional. I'm all up in my feels about it.
Another girl killed. This is Susanna from Candlehearth Hall. Served me a drink just a few nights ago.
That armor looks
I can't
good.
say I knew her.
Few septums ain't nothing.
Another? This has happened before?
Susanna's the third. It's always the same. Young girl, killed at night, body torn up.
The cloak there is wigging out a little bit. That's alright. It's minor. Are these murders being
We're
investigated?
stretched thin as it is with the war. Nobody has the time to spend on this. Not pleasant, but it's the truth. If you want to help, ask some of these gawkers if they saw anything useful. I'm going to examine the body before the rats can get to it.
Nightshade. I'm just gonna get this quest going right now before it like
Always sad when
goes
someone-
stale and bugs out on me.
Sorry. I
You always
thought I
gotta
saw
worry
a fellow
about this
running
one, right?
away, but didn't get a good look at him.
Yeah, I'm harvesting all the nightshade because of the fortified destruction effect. Oh, wow. You guys. Oh, great. Now I'm just tampering with a crime scene here. But
What are you doing there?
this is the dead body. Did you not see the dead body over there? You're just staring at this bloody tombstone here? I didn't make that dead body. I just found it. So there's that.
Another one.
Caladran,
Terrible.
welcome, welcome. Shadow hide you. What? Oh, yeah, no, I think I have the Grey Cowl quest active.
I heard a scream and came running, but she was already like this when I got here.
I'm just gonna
This
stand
is a
right
shame.
here on this sarcophagus.
No, sorry. But I did notice that her
Fortius
friend
does like
was still
attention.
intact, so whoever
He's gonna
did
start
this
doing a
wasn't
little
after
jig up
gold.
there too.
I'm going to keep preparing the body.
Gotta entertain the
Excuse
audience, you know. Well, I found a dead body. That might have something to do with these murders.
Let me guess. Someone stole your sweet roll.
I've spoken to the witnesses.
Just like always. Nobody saw anything useful. Bastards escaped again.
There might be more to this if you'll let me help.
Look, friend. If you think you can do better than the Legion of Guards, be my guest. You'll need to talk to the steward, though. We can't just let anyone go around claiming to be on official business. If he's willing, then we'll talk.
So let's see. We talked about the Steam Summer Sale. For the folks who just dropped in, did you pick up anything? Anything good on sale? I got some arcadey type games, like $7 a pop. And then who was it that recommended that Nova Drift? I just put that in my cart too. Was it your boy Nobody or was it Veteran? Yes, smash the like button. That does help the channel, guys. We've been doing good with viewership every week. 16 peak and then around 12 to 14 average. Going up very slowly, but yeah, it's become a pretty good place to hang out on a Saturday early morning, early afternoon, early evening, 10 p.m. for Haster. The thing about time zones is they're different everywhere, right? Haven't bought anything yet. Maybe after next month's rent and stuff. Okay. Yeah, so what I'll do, I have like 50 to 80 games on my wish list at any one point. And it's like if I'm any remotely interested in it at all, I'll just pop it on my list. And interest doesn't just mean that it looks like a good game. Sometimes it's like if there's discourse about the game. Like Redfall is on the list because I want to see if it's actually as bad as everybody says it is. Or if games like get glowing critical reviews and bad user reviews or vice versa. I'll put that on there even if I'm not really interested in the game at all. otherwise. And then if it goes on sale for like $7 or $10 or whatever, I'll buy it and play it. And sometimes I really enjoy them, and it was like way beyond worth the $7 or whatever that I would pay for it. And other times I don't, and that's like fine. It's, you know, it was the price of a rental anyway, so I'm not gonna really miss my $7 there too bad, because there are countless other games that I paid even less for that I enjoy even more, so we're fine.
Need a ride?
But yeah, so that's how I use my wish list. And then my backlog is pretty deep. I have like 400 games in my backlog. I have like 600 games in my library, and I've played over 200 of them. Some of them I've really liked, some of them just didn't stick for me. But yeah, my backlog is I try to be
Climb and back, and we'll be off.
fickle with it. Picky and fickle.
Nice weather for a ride.
If I'm enjoying a game at first, like I did with Dragon's Dogma 2, great game, has some performance issues, combat system's really good. It inspired me a lot to create this warrior character. So I used a lot of the concepts from the warrior character I played in Dragon's Dogma 2 and applied them to this character. And I'll probably do the same thing for the mage and stuff too. But at some point I felt like I would rather just be, you know, playing a Dragon's Dogma 2 inspired warrior in Skyrim than playing Dragon's Dogma 2. So I uninstalled that. I moved on after like 20 hours or so, and now I'll put another game on my backlog. I got another arcade shoot 'em up. Mushihima-sama translates in Japanese to Insect Princess. This person is busy? Oh, it's my pause on load, I think, that did it. Considering Starfield, is it on sale?
Like some horrible monster
There
was
we go.
turned inside out and then exploded. What did
I
you
really
do?
like Starfield. I know people have mixed reviews, and we've gone over, you know, the pros and cons. I have my own criticisms about Starfield. Other people have their own, and plenty of
Just
them.
stoke the fire. Take a seat and get the food.
From my perspective, Starfield
If there's
is the
anything you
best
need,
looking,
just
best
let me know.
playing game that Bethesda has ever released. That's good for me. The exploration leaves some things to be desired for sure. As they add more to the game and fill out the universe a little bit, that will be addressed. People complain about the writing in ML. That's just not liking the story is not the same thing as it having bad writing. People criticize ML very, very harshly. It's not him. ML was one of the major writers in Oblivion. So I think it was actually in Magus's stream. I was lurking because I was busy working. Somebody was saying that ML is terrible and he's the death of the writing in modern BGS games, but then they also said they really liked Oblivion. Emmett was one of the main writers in Oblivion. He completely wrote the entire Dark Brotherhood questline in Oblivion, which is one of the best written quest lines in any BGS game ever, right? Emil's not the problem. He might be a better writer than he is like a director or project manager, but that's not the same as the writing. The writing, they're hit or miss, right? It's not Emil's fault. Get off that guy's back. You're barking up the wrong tree there.
Sure thing.
I thought the writing in Starfield was fine. It's not my favorite written. It serves its purpose well. And actually, I think that ending sequence at the end of the game, where you fight the hunter and everything, is one of the best, like, most compelling moments in any BGS game ever. Like, right up there with the Liberty Prime march through downtown Boston in Fallout 4. Yeah, I like that better than anything in Skyrim or most of what's in Oblivion, personally. From my opinion, I think Skyrim's actually the worst written game out of the modern BGS games. Would you please show me where it is? No, I know where the room is. Thank you.
understand.
I got sidetracked there. But anyway, I don't want to go on another Starfield rant. I like Starfield. I would highly recommend it to anybody. In a stacked year, last year, 2023, when there's a lot of really, really good, hard-hitting games that came out, Starfield was hands down my favorite one that came out. Heart is also cold and dead, and that's how you can run for so long. Touche. Undead are well renowned for their stamina for sure. Writing is top. Oh, there goes Magus on the writing again. I don't have a problem with the writing. I don't have a single problem with the writing. It's not their best written game. It's not their worst written game. Skyrim is... BGS games aren't about the main storylines anyway. Skyrim's main storyline is you go save the world from dragons. That's tropey as fuck. There are very little twists and anything in it. It has its quest lines that are good. Thieves Guild in particular is really good, but I think for the most part, Starfield's better written than Skyrim. It's crazy. I watch you and Magus and look like you all know. Yeah, the Skyrim content creation world is kind of a small one, right? No, Magus and I have known each other for years. We usual suspects in each other's streams and on our content and stuff. You'd probably be surprised, like a lot of us, we know each other and we talk to each other.
Structurally unstable to you.
Skyrim is good as it is open world and one can create your own story. Yep, and the same is true in Starfield. It's a little less open world, right? It's more of an open area type. The open world mechanics kind of got broken by its planetary system. That's why I'm saying exploration does leave a lot to be desired in Starfield. I have my critiques of Starfield for sure, but I don't think it's earned its reputation that a lot of people have given it. It has earned its criticisms. I don't think it's earned its complete drag through the mud that it's gotten. Wish I could return to Skyrim, but feeling drifting away from... Well, it's been out for... let's see, 2011, so, 13 years at this point. Almost 13 years. Even with mods to freshen things up, it's still the same game. You're still playing in the same areas, interacting with the same NPCs, doing the same quests, and you can add some stuff here and there with mods, right? But it's still the same base experience, and... Yeah, when Starfield came out, I drifted away from Skyrim a little bit. I came back because it's like I have a problem playing other games, especially non-BGS games like fantasy games, especially like medieval fantasy type games, where playing that game will give me ideas for builds to try in Skyrim, and then at some point I just feel like I'd rather play Skyrim to do that build instead of play the game that I've been playing. So that's how I've been able to play Skyrim for so long. And some people just absolutely love it. Like Magus, Skyrim is basically the only game. Starfield didn't. Yeah, and that's kind of it met my expectations and surpassed them in some ways. So of course I'm gonna like it if that happened, right? If you had other expectations and that didn't get met, then of course you're not gonna like it as much as I did. I understand the criticism. I get where a lot of people are coming from.
You see those warriors from Hammerfell?
What I don't like is people saying that the game is objectively bad. It has some problems. It has some things that can't even be fixed. I'll grant that, but the game is not objectively bad. The writing is not objectively bad. It's all based on opinion and perspective. If you're saying the game is objectively bad and the writing is objectively bad, then you're saying that the people who like the game and like the writing are objectively have bad taste and or are stupid and they need to fix themselves. And that's just not the case. Setting the... Oh, okay. So Magus is saying that I'm objectively bad. There we go. Magus. You know, one of the things I like about Magus is he is, he's not opinionated in the least bit. He has no strong opinions about anything, so it's like you can feel free to bring up pretty much any subject and, you know, you're not going to get flamed for it. You're not going to get a rant. Not going to get any strong opinions. It's always just kind of safe and comfortable around him. One of my favorite people, for sure. I kid. He is one of my favorite people, actually. Especially gaming stuff, yep. So you bring up that 900 hours number, and to me, playing a game for 900 hours means you really loved the game, right? If you're playing a game for over 900 hours that you don't enjoy, there's probably something you need to go seek therapy for. But you're also very critical of the game, which is fine. I understand your criticisms of it. It didn't meet your expectations for certain things. That's fine. So I don't know if you're saying that your 900 hours makes you more, I don't know. 900 hours, piece of crap game. Yes, therapy does help me. If you're saying your 900 hours makes you more of an expert on the subject of whether the game is good or bad, I would say it's still opinion. I would say my 400 hours in the game is plenty to form a solid objective opinion on the game. And the fact that I'm still playing it. You just like busting balls? Yeah, I know. I know. That's why I'm laughing while I'm talking to you about all this. It's all in good fun. The play together games, I don't mind them as long as I can. Okay, so yeah, I don't mind the play together games as long as I can play them by myself. Also, fighting games, that they're kind of fundamentally multiplayer games. You need to have another human being on the other end of it because you're not getting the same experience from a computer or AI, regardless of how advanced that computer or AI is. It's all about the give and take between tactics and setting expectations and then breaking those expectations. One-on-one competition of any kind to me is extremely compelling. So that's where my love of fighting games comes from, for sure. And why I did martial arts and jiu-jitsu for so long, because that sparring, that give and take between two different people is just, it's an incredibly advanced and pure way to communicate that, like, most people who like don't like that one-on-one combat or competition for whatever reason just never really get to experience. It's like you're transcending words and symbols and ideas, and just it's this give and take. It's this negotiation between two people on a very physical and non-sexual level. And there's something like it all through my life up until, you know, I got out of high school and needed to focus on my academic career. I played baseball, and my favorite position to play was pitcher because that was one-on-one competition throughout the whole game for as long as your arm would hold up. And that just, it gets you into that flow state like super quick, to where it's like you're not thinking in words anymore. You're just thinking purely on ideas and tactics and what you're going to do and how you're going to do it and how that's going to set up your next move. And everything else in the world, all these human constructs, they just completely disappear. So yeah, in that case, those play together games, like fighting games, one-on-one competition games, I need somebody else to play with. But for like Diablo 4, which is basically an MMO now, it is an action RPG at its heart, and it plays really well for an online game. Oh crap. These assassins tend to be pretty tough if they get the drop on you, but was able to avoid some of her bow shots. She's got some tough poison. She causes a lot of bleed damage. Come back soon, my deadly child, Master E. Yeah, there are some of these assassins peppered throughout the open world. Yeah, but like Diablo 4, I play completely on my own. I do run into people sometimes, and like in the open world, there are some like events and things like that that... Oh, I forgot to talk to Brenna.
Caves are good place
Go back to Winterhold.
for exercise.
But I, for the most part, completely ignore those people and just do my events and then go into my instance dungeons and just work on those. Yeah, back then the best players were all pitchers, shortstop, and first base. Well, pitching is still extremely valued. It's the old quote, pitching wins championships. It's still the case. That was said 100 years ago, and it's still the case today. It holds true. The game has changed in some fundamental ways since then. It's not so much in terms of pitching. Like, techniques and stuff have been refined so that you can throw the ball a lot harder, get more spin rate on the ball for more movement. And have more accuracy, and just like any other sport, the players have been refining their technique at a younger and younger age so that they're better and better when they get there, which does have an effect on hitting, but hitting has been the same way. The main changes to the game has been in hitting, in my opinion, because like everybody just goes for home runs right now. I think some of the analytics people determined that at some point just going for home runs, regardless of how many people you have on base, is a more efficient way of scoring runs than trying to manufacture runs through getting on base and moving that base runner over. So everybody became a pole hitter who wants to try to hit the ball in the air. So then defenses evolved to running the shift because everybody's a pole hitter now, pole power hitter. Every single defense in the league would shift everybody over to the pole side and move them back. So it became almost impossible to get a hit that wasn't a home run. So then you get strikeouts, walks, and home runs. And that's all due to the change in strategies on a hitting level. So now the league is fighting back. They're widening the bases so that, you know, there's more action at the tag level. They are outlawing the shift, so now that like a shortstop has to stay on his side of second base instead of moving all the way over to right field. The pitch clock, which actually helps base running out a lot and also helps pitchers to be a little less accurate, which leads to more contact, which leads to more hits now that the whole defense isn't on one side of the field. So now you are getting a lot faster games, a lot more action because there's more base runners, a lot more things that the base runners are able to do now. And since pitching has been, you're still getting home runs, but since now base running has become more viable, you get less of it. The Arizona Diamondbacks went to the World Series last year on an offense that hit very few home runs compared to the rest of the field in the playoffs. The hell am I looking at here?
Wasn't by choice, like options were in shorts without the coin to pack up and leave. Very funny. I'm sure you've noticed
They
that
should
Winterhold
just allow
isn't
players
exactly
to use
overflowing.
steroids again. They
So
don't
I'm
need
saying
them
whatever I
anymore,
can.
honestly.
If
The
it's
home
worth
run
putting
numbers
a
are up
price
on
on,
average.
you can bet that.
You're not getting
I've been burned a few times. Maybe a
the
few bad
outliers
days,
like Mark McGuire
but
and Barry
mostly
Bonds
I come
anymore.
out on top.
But in my opinion, the the home runs haven't slowed down. The home runs are there. They're just getting more boring. I think steroids would make that worse. And you don't want to set a precedent that that's okay, because then you get high schoolers and stuff taking steroids because that's the only way they can compete at that level. I don't think it's good. Slippery slope.
Yeah, it was stupid of me. I shouldn't have believed.
Oh no, I know.
Just refused the trade.
I still think it's an interesting discussion, though. The performance enhancement drugs
Some line about this clothing
conversation in general,
He
I
said it
think,
was worth
is an
more
interesting
than its weight in
conversation to
gold if I
have.
took it back then.
Because
Something about
steroids,
placing
if
it
you
back
take
in
them
Engel's
in
chamber, I don't know.
a very
What was I
moderated
thinking?
way, can be
Even
very
if it
good
were
for you.
true, I'm not.
I don't take them
filled
because
with who knows what.
I don't need them. I'm a desk jockey, 43-year-old desk jockey. But they can keep your testosterone at good levels to make you feel better, feel younger as you get older. They can fight off infections for you. They can up your immune system. They can increase your recovery time for injuries. The main issue with it is, like with any other drug, is the abuse part of it, right? Where you take more than you need.
Fine, here you go.
And then all of a sudden now you have cardiac problems with your heart. You start getting too heavy so that your bone structure can't deal with it anymore. And then if you're producing too much testosterone through artificial means, your body kind of stops producing it, so then there's infertility issues along with it. But in very small doses, it can be very good. It becomes a slippery slope. And I don't think there's any addictive properties to it in general, but just the feeling that you get from it can be addictive. Same with like pot and things like that. There are some really good health effects that you can get from marijuana, but if you abuse it like anything else, it can be very, very bad for you. Stem cells? Stem cells are very interesting. There's still a lot we don't know about it. There's probably some negative ramifications, but as long as they're sourced responsibly, it could be an extremely good thing for society. Magus the Stirrer, yeah. Okay. Ingol's Barrow. Here we go. Yeah, the stem cell stuff gets political and religious really quick. So here, I don't want to get into anything political or religious because that just becomes a shit show real quick.
Did I ever tell you I spent half a year?
But if you want to take that offline, I'm happy to have a conversation. Neither of those things? Okay, good. Some days I'm equipped to have those conversations, and some days I'm not. But I'm usually not equipped when I'm streaming. And I also want to be sensitive to stressors of other people, because those subjects are very, very stressful for a lot of people. They trigger people, and we're all here to play Skyrim. Focus on this thing that we have in common. That's this fantastic game that's been out for 13 years. Still holding the attention and hearts of people. That we can agree on. Let's see. This is the eagle because of the sky. This is grass, so it's the snake. And we have water, so that's going to be the whale. Boom shakalaka. Had to stop doing martial arts because I realized I was a bit too bloodthirsty for it to be. Yeah, you know what? I've sparred with some of those people before, and you know, as long as your skills are good and like you can handle yourself and you have the physical attributes to withstand something like that, then you know you can get through it. I have definitely sparred with my share of bloodthirsty people. It's something that you can work on. It's something that you can work out, especially with the head-to-head stuff like jiu-jitsu,
By the arena. That's impressive.
where it is more of a fight than it is like a competition of like scoring points, at least on a pure physical level, than something like Taekwondo where you're just trying to touch their body. You're actually trying to get somebody to give up because it hurts. In jiu-jitsu. There are plenty of people that go into that just trying to tear somebody's head off because they think that's how it works. There are people who get a lot better at it, right? They're able to relax and focus on their technique a little more instead of just trying to tear somebody's head off because they want to win. But there are people who never actually get over that, and it's not fun sparring against those people for sure. Even if you win, you still end up with like bruises and aches and pains that you didn't have before, and you still, even if you're extremely competent and in perfect physical shape, those people still do vastly increase your risk of injury. So probably the responsible choice there, your boy nobody. Some people are just born with a higher than average amount of piss and vinegar, and you're not going to be able to shift into a lower gear for any reason. I think we call that a chip on your shoulder. Orcish longsword, that actually looks really cool. I think this is one of those second era things that immersive weapons adds. Actually a pretty good look. Yeah, it's not really valuable enough to pick up, and I do have the Orcish perk in smithing right now, so I can make it if I want it. I don't know, we'll see. Funny how I figured that out without any clues. Yeah, I'm not really doing the whole roleplay thing today, I guess. I just want to kill dead stuff. I'm in one of those moods, I guess. I don't really feel like getting into the headspace of another character. I just want to whack stuff with my spear. Okay, my sword.
Finally, some action.
Really?
Let's go, friend. Time's a-wasting.
What kind of action are you talking about here? All these bouncing glowing balls? I guess that's kind of action-packed. A little bit thrilling. An admirable trait, just kill stuff. Yeah, we're already in our orcish phase, I guess. Okay, Coral Dragon Claw. We got a snake, a wolf, and a moth. Snake. Wolf. And the moth. Can't find anything that overhauls the orcish axes and hammers. Overall, you mean is in terms of visuals? What's that one? I know EJ uses the, it's like a more realistic weapons overhaul for like maces and warhammers and stuff that gives them a smaller head. Wow, this guy was pretty tough. Got sandwiched between two brutes, kind of like Night at the Roxbury style, but pretty tough. Expensive looking sword, I'll take that. And I might be mistaken. Was this the place with the dual enchantment of no, this can't be right. The dual enchanted fire damage and soul trap? I'm mixing this up with another dungeon, aren't I? Believable weapons. There you go. Thank you, Haster. I just want weapons. Yeah, take a look at the one that Haster did. I don't know if you're on console or PC, but there's nothing technically stopping it from being on console. It's just whether the author wants to post it there or not.
Everything's better.
But I would take a look at the one that Haster just posted. Your boy Nobody. Snake? Snake! I love Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear Solid 5 and Phantom... Or no... Yeah, is it Phantom Pain? No, Phantom Pain is Metal Gear Solid 5, and then Ground Zeroes is the sort of like prequel, sort of like demo, smaller side shot of that. I have them both in my backlog. And Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta, the remake of Metal Gear Solid 3, that is actually looking pretty good. I was impressed what I saw during Summer Games Fest from Konami. Especially since Konami has been like out of the games business for a while now. That was looking pretty good.
Alright then.
I really liked Metal Gear Solid 3. It was probably the best of all of them. It wasn't necessarily my favorite. I think Metal Gear Solid 4 ended up being my favorite, but Metal Gear Solid 3 in terms of just, you know, pacing, not being like overdone, balanced in terms of gameplay and story and cinematics and everything, I think sort of on a very objective level, Metal Gear Solid 3 was the most polished of all of them, in my opinion. But I did like MGS4 probably better, just because I'm a sucker for... What is that glowing over there? I'm a sucker for fan service. Oh, is that just like a reflection of the sun that I can't see or something? I think there is a Winter Sun shrine over there that I may as well just go look at. Moderation is key in life. Indeed it is. Still want the chunky Skyrim style though. Yeah, this just, it, like how Warhammers have these huge like heads on the end of them. Like this is ridiculous. This is like cartoonish, right? The believable weapons just kind of shrinks that down to something a little more realistic. Lean Wolves also does the same thing. There's like a, I don't know if it made it to SE, but LE had like a de-larpification mod where it thinned out the weapons to make them look a little less plasticky and fake. Sure, huh? We'll be doing that at some point. I think if I'm not precluded from taking that because I'm an Imperial and not a Nord. Doing that at some point, I think. Oh. Wow, how is that not hitting? Okay, what's next over here? Up to your leaf. That's for the Blood on the Ice quest. I don't need to do that just yet. Let's see. I gotta go do Mikrul Galder for Calendil's, the mage playthrough. So why not go get some practice on that now? Let's see here. We'll just fast travel to Dawnstar. We'll pick up the carriage stop there, and then we'll take a carriage to Morthal from there. Hearing the bone-crushing crunch from that great hammer feels painful. It does indeed. For the time when Skyrim came out, it had really good sound design. The sounds and everything that you get, even for like as dated as the technology was at the time when it came out. Yes, that was a complaint even back then. Yeah, it was. It sounded really good, especially on PlayStation. Something about the PlayStation and the audio output, the audio channels that it had on its chipset, made the game really. It sounded even better than on PC at the time. And then there were mods later that kind of upped the sample qualities and everything to match what the PlayStation did. Okay, you as well, Tom. Thanks for joining. See you around, okay? Take care of yourself. Adrenaline is like an opiate addiction to you because of all the other emotions are so dulled. I don't think that's an uncommon state of mind these days. I get there sometimes myself just because, you know, if every day is just dull and you do the same thing every day, there's a lack of adventure and wonderment, then you're gonna feel that way, right? It's very hard to manufacture that sense of joy and wonderment. You have to go out and find it. And if you feel stuck, then that's very hard to do, admittedly, but generally, I think I watched a TED Talk on this not too long ago. They said trying to be happy all the time and chasing happiness is not the way to go to stave off like depression and feelings of just, you know, dullness and emotionless states and things like that. It's like you have to chase what's called wonderment. It's like the excitement of learning new things and discovering new things, the sense of adventure. You can get that from video games. You can get that from, you know, these learning websites and stuff, learning a new skill, taking on a new hobby. Things like that. You just got to find something that captures your attention, that you're vastly interested in, and then strive to continually learn about these things and be excited by things and pursue things that excite you. But if you feel stuck in the same rut every single day, then yeah, it's you're not going to break out of that without, you know, chasing some kind of adventure. It's a faux mod either way, so you can pick and choose. Oh yeah, for the believable weapons. Yep. If you're running MO2, you can do that anyway. And I think that you can do it with Vortex as well. It's not as nice about it, depending on how your brain makes sense of things with UIs and things like that. With MO2, it's really easy just to hide meshes and textures and or tell one conflicted file from one mod to win and the other one to lose. Moderate hunger and severe thirst. Wow, I have not been paying attention to my needs here, have I? We go well sated, and I should be well hydrated now. There we go. I want to, let's see. I feel like some people's 2+. What the hell does that mean? Some people's messages are really delayed, like really behind. And I'm not sure if, no, I don't have any dropped frames this stream at all. Just want to make sure that my chat is ordered correctly, and I think I'm good now. So if I was missing some of your messages just a little while ago, that's probably because I had my chat set wrong. Never intentionally ignoring anybody, I promise. Order. The guy was awesome. He was some like high-ranking member of the British Parliament or something, and you just sit back there all smug and cocky and just go, order. He was on a reality show that my wife was watching not too long ago. Traders, I think. It was like I don't know if it was a network thing. It was probably Netflix. But he was on there. He seemed like a just super nice, chill guy. Maybe it's YouTube going bonkers. Could be. YouTube does tend to do that now and then. Okay, here's a question for people who know a lot of mods. One thing that's driving me crazy right now, especially with this character that uses a lot of different weapons. Oh, my wife says Traders is on Peacock. So it's not Netflix, but it's also not, it is network, but it's not live TV. You have to have the Peacock service, which I think you can get for free. You just have to watch ads with it. Anyway, she really liked that show. That was kind of, it was about the same as every other reality show for me. That's kind of the same format and a lot of the same people, but yeah, that dude was pretty cool. What was I saying? Oh yeah, if anybody here knows of a mod that either removes the draw, sheath and unsheath animations, or just makes them extremely quick, I would be very interested in that one, because this character uses a lot of weapon switching, and if I'm switching from one weapon to another like really quick, sometimes the animations overlap and I get a little some jank on there, and a lot of that could be because of the XP MSE or whatever, but just the sheer amount of time that it takes to switch from one weapon to another in this game is really rough if you're using a lot of different weapons over the course of one battle, which is kind of the archetype that I'm going for with this character. So if anybody knows of a mod that either makes the draw animations way quicker or removes them altogether, I think I found one months or even years ago that was LE only. And it was kind of like delisted at that point. I just found mentions of it. Let me know. Okay. Pretty easy fight there. Catch up here. Okay, good. I was about to unsubscribe. So, well, thank you for not unsubscribing, Skyroll. Oh, well, you did say about that dual enchanted one. Now that I've reorganized my chat, no, the dual enchanted one is Ironbind by Nightgate Inn, so kind of the same area of the map, probably closer to where I got the white file though. Yeah, okay, now I remember. And welcome, Skyroll. I didn't say hi to you because I never saw you pop up. Sorry, buddy. Thanks for sticking around. Traders is a great show. The Wind is a fan. Nice. Oh, the sheath and unsheath animations removing is not... No, it's not. But it does have major gameplay ramifications. And I'm trying to find ways to make this base warrior class a little more engaging and compelling on a gameplay level. And I feel like rapid weapon switching would be a good way to do that. I am a fan of hack and slash and beat 'em up games like Devil May Cry, God of War, and things like that. And those games all implement weapon switching in the midst of combat, and they do it in a very quick manner, and it feels like the combat flows a lot better because of it. Are you running Mystic Knight or Zweihander? Mystic Knight, but not Zweihander. Maybe I'm doing Zweihander too. I'm not doing the one where it has the greatsword up on his shoulder. I do actually like that idol. One of those makes the animation slow. There's another Draugr. Where is he? Oh, that one just fell over. Oh, he fell out of my, yeah, there it is. Fell out of the kill cam. Whoa. Saw that way too late. The problem is that the game's base is looking for those animations, so it'd be like a patch mod fix. Yeah. I remember on console we had a mod that did that, and it wound up causing crash issues because those animations need to play out. Interesting. Okay. Maybe I'll take it on as a personal project or something. I mean, I can do without it. It would just... the combat would flow a little better with this character with it. You good? Hey, normally don't watch the live because I'm behind and like to watch it in order, but I was like, fuck it. Hey, yeah, no problem. Glad to have you live. It's cool to say hi to people who've been watching for a while, you know? Always down to do that. That's why I do this. Is the live streaming, in my opinion, is more fun than the recorded stuff, just because, well, it takes all the work aspect out of it. A lot of the recorded stuff, it is better, more valuable content for sure. And I do enjoy it when I have the time and energy for it, but streaming is just, it's so easy, right? It takes all the work aspect out of it. You get to retain all the fun, and you get to talk to people in real time. There's a lot to be said for streaming, at least in perspective of the of content creation, than there is the pre-recorded stuff. I do need to get better at the smaller pieces of content. Smaller, more regular uploads, I think. Another idea that I had very recently was reworking some of my build guides into 5-minute builds that only like focused on the cornerstone synergies of the builds, and maybe like a couple, one or two of the strongest combos. Yeah, I have like a technique for each one of these puzzles. This one, I don't. I just start throwing levers, and, you know, within 10 or 20 seconds, it usually opens up. I've never had a problem being stuck there for more than, you know, like 30 seconds. Just randomly thrown out. But now that I'm remembering it, I think what I've done in the past is with this puzzle right here, just go kind of like clockwise from this guy right here, the first one on your left, and then do the second one on your left, and then move right over to the second one on your right, and then the second one on your right. And then after that, just go back over to the second one on your right, and that'll move up the remainder. So clockwise and then back up 1 at the end. How about a Necromancer in 56 seconds? Yeah, there you go. Necromancer is one of those builds that I really want to do, but I haven't taken it on yet because I want to make sure that I get it right because there's lots of nuance. It's also not a base built-in class for the Elder Scrolls. You can play as a Necromancer, but in older Elder Scrolls games that actually had class systems, Necromancer was never one of them. You could play a mage or a sorcerer that happened to be a Necromancer. But other than that, Necromancers were relegated to enemies and NPCs. Viewers are so fucking big. Yeah, they can be, for sure. Well, I mean, they can afford to be, and they almost have to be, just because of the sheer amount of content out there for any game. It's a highly competitive space for those eyeballs, right? When you go live, there are dozens, if not hundreds, of other people who are going live in the same game. You have to somehow try to get their attention or build up an audience very slowly. And I wouldn't say it's the audience's fault. It's just, you know, streaming and content creation has become so accessible now that really anybody with a computer can do it. It's so easy. So that there's just no shortage of content for any game. And Skyrim, since it's been around a long time and its player numbers have kept up pretty well for a non-multiplayer game, a lot of people have a lot of knowledge, almost expert level knowledge on the game that they can create, if not compelling content, at least some compelling ideas and new things, and be able to talk about it competently. For the most part. Snake whale eagle. So yeah, it's just that the competition is far too thick. I don't know that it's the audiences that are unnaturally picky. I have to be really picky with Skyrim content. If I just go look up snake whale eagle. If I just go look up Skyrim on YouTube, I'm gonna find a lot of content on there, and I have to be picky about it because I just don't have the kind of time to watch all that. Nobody does. Even within our own communities, it's like I have to skip around a little bit. It's like I have to miss some streams, I have to miss some drops by some of the community in order to catch up on others, and then so I have to skip around a little bit. I'll have to catch up and see where some people are in their playthroughs, and it's not like I see it as like an obligation to do it. I really genuinely want to see where people are at in their playthroughs and what they're doing with the game and things like that. But there just aren't enough hours in the day for all of it all the time. Wait, you don't sit at your PC for 18 hours? No. Even 18 hours wouldn't be enough for everything out there. Like some of Bayo's live streams I've missed, and I've tried to catch up on in some of the archives, and I have. I love Bayo's character concepts. He puts a lot of thought into these things and goes way above and beyond fleshing out these characters, and it's really an inspiration. But I just can't watch all of his live streams, so I have to watch the archives now and then. And then, of course, EJ telling her stories through Skyrim. Those are always compelling. He's got a weekly drop on all of those. And Joe was back yesterday too. So EJ and Joe, I think both within the last couple of days, dropped their respective series. And Joe's back with Einarath now. Glad to see that he got that fixed up, because that is a compelling character as well, and he's been working on that character for years and years and years. So I don't want to miss too much of that. And of course, Magus with his Shadow Claw, he's doing some very interesting things. It's almost like he started out with the name Shadow Claw and then started building around that, because when you watch him play, it's like, oh yeah, that's definitely a Shadow Claw, even though Shadow Claw wasn't even a thing. It's kind of like a Nightblade, but instead of daggers, he's just using claws. And in Ordinator, there's a lot of really fun synergies that you can do with unarmed and like magic and sneak and things like that. And he's taken full advantage of all of it. Okay, what am I doing here? I think it's the Ivory Claw that I'm looking at. Yeah, Ivory. Eagle Dragon.
Wasn't right. Wasn't fair.
That's a real non sequitur over there, buddy. Yeah, I know it's an extreme injustice that the guards were beating somebody in the White Prison. That is not right, and that is not fair. But we have our mind on other things right now. You're focused, right? You're supposed to be my mentor. Where's the focus? It's the orcish stuff. It's Volendrung, and it's the orcish stuff. It's making you bloodthirsty. I get it. What I like to do is hotkey weapons. That tends to work well for in combat. Yeah, I'm doing that too, and I got hotkeys set up for like pretty much everything. I got my bow over here. I can do it on the fly. I got my spear right here, but you can see the animation's glitching a little bit. I don't like that. And then I have my shield and sword over here. But it just, when it takes more than like a second or two, it really leaves you wide open for counterattacks, and that's kind of what I'm trying to get rid of. I mean, you can build those weapon switching animations into your battle tactics, and I have to. You just have to make sure you leave yourself time to transition between a ranged weapon and a melee weapon if you're fighting a ranged enemy. But so one of the synergies I'm working off of here is my Dwarven Bow here has a weakness to fire effect for 12 seconds. But when, 2 or 3 of your seconds is taken up by switching weapons, or even 4 seconds, if, you have a 2-second sheath and then a 2-second unsheath, then that's 4 seconds. That takes up, a third of your weakness to fire time. That's kind of not cool. And it's not really having those animations there. It is immersive to a certain extent, but I feel like you could sheath and unsheath weapons even faster. Oh, there was a mod though. Was it like Armed to the Teeth or something like that? It was one of those old school mods that would just drop your weapon on the ground and instantly switch to another weapon. Maybe I should look at something like that. But then with the way the clipping bugs out in this game, I feel like I would be losing highly valuable weapons
by the arena
inside the terrain like all the time. Oh, I used the wrong weapon for that. I don't have the running power attack perk for one-handed, just the two-handed. Should have started with the spear. I just knew that there were going to be a lot of these thralls all over the place, so I wanted to have the shield ready for moment's notice defense in case I got the set. Oh, that one. Oh, Gore, you're taking all the fun parts for yourself. Okay, where is Mikruel? Here he is. Definitely using this amulet fragment. So my mage Calendil right now is using Yurik's amulet, which gives him 10% more effective spells and 10% faster progression. this does the same thing for combat skills. So definitely using that bad boy. Take a look at this to start the Forbidden Legend. And the Galder Black Blade absorbs 20% of health. I can disenchant this. Absorb health is a very, very good enchantment. That's a vanilla one. It still holds up even in the light of modded enchantments like what you get from Summer Mist. Lot of hides. Okay. Give me enough breathing room, I think, for now. What time is it? Almost 2 o'clock. Wow. Time has really flown. All right. I don't think it's worth it in the next 15 minutes to start up a new dungeon dive. Just because I'll have to probably quit in the middle or whatever, but I can catch up on chat here and we'll call it a stream. Could I do it too, Karin? I'd like to try having adventures. Sure. Oh, content creation. Oh, I mean, streams are content creations. This is the easiest. Easiest content creation. Just click a button, go live, play your game, talk to people. Bada bing, bada boom. And then, of course, there's a lot of dressing you can sprinkle over the top of it with like bots and things like that, but... Like the Wind. Wind's got a lot of good stuff going on in her streams. Gotta open 10 tabs to keep up. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So accessible to the point I was like, shoot, let me upload my playthrough. I'm a dad with 2 kids and a full-time job. Just upload mine. No expectations. Don't do anything but upload it. Yeah, and that's what most people do. So yeah, you search for Skyrim, or you watch enough Skyrim content, the algorithm is going to start suggesting stuff. I get just long playthroughs, completely unedited, and a lot of times not commented on at all. With like 10 views, 8 views, no views, that gets suggested on my feed all the time. So, there's almost literally like nothing stopping you from just putting content out. Whether or not it's going to get the eyeballs, that's when you have to start distinguishing yourself with like a good thumbnail, good commentary. You got to work on your skills. So there are tech skills involved in like the editing and things like that. And for Skyrim, you're going to want to know the console commands that allow you to free up your camera and get the dramatic pan shots and things like that. So if you're hunting for views, there is a lot of work to be done. If you're just looking to get out there and maybe it'll catch on with somebody with no expectations, then yeah, that's almost no work at all. You can hit the share button on your console. You can click a couple buttons on YouTube and drag and drop a video file. It's easy peasy. You're watching Magus? Nice. Hotkey weapons. It's so accessible to the point I was like, shoot, yep. It's literally just one button, especially on console. Yeah, you hit the share button. As long as you're connected to your YouTube account or your Twitch account or your Twitter or Facebook or anything, you can automatically share content right up to there, one button on a console. A little too easy. The term punch cat is now offensive to this one in the 4th era. 2024, yep, there you go. Yeah, there's a lot you can do with a punch cat that isn't just a punch cat anymore. Not your grandfather's punch cat. In D&D, Eldritch Knights create a bond with a chosen weapon and can teleport it to their hand instantly. Your guy could have something similar. That is an interesting concept, right? I wonder if there's a mod for that. Nah, too busy for all that. I'm surprised 32 people viewed it. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. And if you want to expand on that, when you do have like a vacation or your schedule clears up a little bit, like I almost said one of your kids dies. I didn't want to say that. Your kids move out at some point and you want to expand on your hobby or something like that, then yeah, no problem there. But yeah, I'm a single, we call them what are they called? Dinks, dual income, no kids. I decided not to have kids. My wife and I did, so that kind of frees up some time and money for personal projects and things like that. You have some time on your, but otherwise, yes, I'm very busy by work. I can't imagine, you know, having a kid, let alone kids. I don't know how I'd find the time to do anything. But yeah, I do like to take on hobbies and learn new skills and stuff like that. And this has given me both a creative outlet and an avenue to learn new things and new tech skills and things like that. Only for it to be made obsolete by AI tools like Sora and Dolly. Yeah, I mean, we'll see how that goes, but I don't know, there are good things and bad things about that. Yeah, I know. I was like, I almost said it, and then I stopped from saying it, and then I basically just said it by saying I was about to say it. No, I don't wish that upon anybody, for sure. It would be terrible. You'd be a sink? Yeah, I mean, still pretty good life, right? I mean, I don't look down on people who have kids, for sure. That's a choice that they made that are very important to them. Creating another human being is the closest thing to a superpower that humans will ever be able to experience, right? And if you're an awesome person and you meet another awesome person, I can't think of anything better than two awesome people bringing another awesome person into this world. We need more awesome people. Less crappy people, more awesome people. Currently staying at, oh, that sucks. Yeah, that sucks, man. I hope you get that figured out in Kulana. I ain't no fink, dig. I don't know what a fink is. I don't dig. I don't know. I may very well agree with you, but I don't know what a fink is. Trying to put it together. A fink. Yeah, I got nothing. That's one of those slang terms that the young kids are using that I have not caught up with or kept up with. Boy, lingo. Lingo's a funny thing, huh? I thought the millennial and like Gen Y, Gen Z lingo was hard to keep up with, but then I was made privy to some of the Gen Alpha lingo. It's getting crazy. It's getting wild out there. Yeah, from what I've heard, well, my mom went for disability and Social Security, and she got approved, but she had pretty major reasons, and she's older for sure. But from what I've heard, getting that disability, if you're not at a certain age, it takes a lot of just grinding. There's no secret way out of this, is there? You just got to go back through the whole damn thing. Yeah, you just got to keep it up. You're going to get denied. You're going to get denied. You're going to get denied. And then suddenly, you know, one time they'll approve it. You just got to keep on it. Don't give up. Yeah, the process the process of making kids is a lot of fun. The process of raising kids may be more rewarding in the long haul, but definitely not as fun. Just do it within 5 years. But yeah, you got to keep up on it. Be annoying about it. Be the squeaky wheel that gets the grease, you know? Yeah, Magus has had some battles with that too. I guess the sad part is we have enough people that take advantage of it, or at least the perception that enough people are taking advantage of it, which, you know, usually where there's smoke, there's fire. That they have to be, you know, picky enough that it becomes a pain in the ass for the people who do need it. Okay, let's see. Been working on it since 2018. 8 times against me. I finally got a lawyer named Laura McKinnon. Okay, lawyer could help. My terribly dirty... No, we're right there with you, Wind. You know that. We're all equally degenerate here, except for maybe Magus. He's a little more degenerate, but not by much. Got people like my brother's ex who can't. Yeah. Yeah, no, take advantage of the system. Or just advantage of their own irresponsibility. Own irresponsibility. Talking about family. Yeah, okay. This is a family stream. She was talking about making families. What's more family than that? Okay, well, all right, good combo, guys. Made a lot of good progress today. I mean, we didn't really, I guess we didn't make a whole lot of progress. I don't think I got a single level up. We're just at that level now where leveling becomes slow and training becomes expensive, but we're getting a better feel for the character, right? I think he's looking damn spiffy too. That purple cape just goes really well. The clipping doesn't hurt as much with this ensemble as it has previously with the physics enabled cape. I'm really liking seeing the cape. The purples seem to match pretty well. The cape is flowing. Seeing that like whipping around behind him as he's, you know, wading into combat. He's very tanky. His survivability is really good, even with, you know, what you might consider a lower health attribution compared to like stamina. But the armor is keeping up. The block is keeping up. We're doing really well here, I think. Very tanky. The damage output is very nice too, not a problem at all. Synergies are working. The one thing I wish I had was quicker weapon switching, so I'm gonna do some research on that. If anybody finds anything, if you get bored or something, or you happen upon it, feel free to DM me or just post it in or at me or something in one of the discords, and I will be much obliged to see that. Let's see. It was still epic, even without the level up. Yeah, I agree. That was a lot of fun. A lot of good action in here too. I think I'm putting forth a good showing of a basic sort of warrior class that pretty much everybody has played. Might be a little stale at this point with a 13-year-old game and a basic class, but I think we're making it look fun. We're bringing sexy back for the warrior. Light armor is -5. He'd rather be naked. Yeah. So that actually came from one of the imperial abilities, where at a certain level you get to pick one skill to increase by, I don't know, like 50 points or 25 points or something like that, and another skill to decrease by half that amount. And so I picked, I think I picked heavy armor for one of them, and then, or maybe two-handed or one-handed. I think it was heavy armor that I picked, and I picked light armor because I knew I wasn't going to be using it. So that's where that -5 comes from. No pants. All right, guys, I'm done. Let's see. Do check out Magus80 and the Wind over on Twitch. I got their links in the description down below. Caladran also has a YouTube channel that she's been showing off her V Rising castles on. I almost said she was showing off her V, and that would be a very different channel. V Rising, showing off her V Rising castles. Seems like a pretty compelling game with some good building, outpost building stuff in there. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, that'd be OnlyFans. Yeah, it's a different website. So go check that out. Pretty compelling. Who else was here? Mr. B was here. He was streaming earlier. I'm trying to remember what game he was playing. It was something new. Crap, I don't remember. I will find out here very shortly, though. Mr. B, what was he playing? Mr. B streams No Man's Sky. That's right. Yeah. If you were let down by the exploration in Starfield, No Man's Sky is probably your game, but there's no there's no real combat to speak of. There's no level progressions. Not really an RPG. It's just an exploration game. So if you want the exploration of Starfield but more fleshed out, then that's probably your game. But don't think it's going to be a BGS game or RPG or any kind of an action game or anything like that. Some fun to be had there for sure. No Man's Sky, Magus got it. There you go. And who else? I thought there was somebody else. I don't remember anybody else. If I missed you, I'm sorry. But I'll catch all of you around in all those other places. Like we said, this is a small world and we all kind of roll in the same communities here. So yeah, catch you around. Have a good rest of your weekend and take care. See you guys. Bye.